Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel. Kane and Phyllis are exposed in Lily's shocking discovery. Updates and spoilers for the young and the restless hint that Lily Winters might witness Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers' intense relationship. As this love triangle reaches its breaking point, the Y&R fall preview spoilers certainly refer to this as a triangle and emphasize Phyllis' fascination with Kane's Aristotle Dumas persona. There's no doubt that Aristotle Dumas is a part of Kane. It is evident that a portion of Kane is still connected to that previous version of himself, and Phyllis is always there to support him. Phyllis is of the opinion that Kane ought to put his ambitions for dominance in Genoa City ahead of his desire to rekindle his relationship with Lily. Naturally, Phyllis might also have her own interests in Kane, given the numerous compliments she showers upon him. Kane and Phyllis's playful exchanges could easily be interpreted as flirting with each other, indicating that they might combine business and pleasure at some point. They recently met Tracy Abbott while they were at society after Kane invited Phyllis to dinner. Kane once desired a romantic relationship with Tracy. Kane's interactions with Tracy were a warm reflection of his desire to develop a romantic friendship with her at one point. Phyllis appeared to be envious of Kane's attention to Tracy and clearly disturbed by their relationship. The idea that Phyllis only wants Kane to focus on her and not on any other woman is only reinforced by this. Deep down, Phyllis might be hoping to emerge as the ultimate power couple with Kane. Perhaps once they achieve all their aspirations, Phyllis believes she can claim the title of the new queen of Kane's heart, making him forget about Lily, Tracy, or anyone else. Phyllis will keep working on the inside Kane of Dumas. Phyllis will continue to entice Kane's Dumas side no matter what, and it's possible that she will eventually seduce him. If Lily spots Kane and Phyllis in a passionate moment, this could be problematic. Even witnessing a kiss between them would be a significant blow for Lily, and discovering a more intimate encounter would undoubtedly escalate the situation. Phyllis has a talent for creating obstacles for Kane and Lily, so is she about to create another one? Y&R spoilers indicate that Phyllis will continue to stir the pot, so we'll keep you posted on any negative developments she may bring to Kane's reunion efforts with Lily. Catch up on everything that is going on right now with Y&R. Come back here often for the young and the restless spoilers, news, and updates. Lily's dilemma, Jack's crazy twist, and Victor's proposition. The young and the restless spoilers for September 25, 2025, have been released. Fans can anticipate that Kane Ashby will respond to Victor Newman's question in the following episode. Plus, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, has a crazy twist coming up. Therefore, let's get started discussing the upcoming episodes of the CBS soap opera. The argument of Victor Newman. Let's start with Victor, who makes an appearance on Kane's train to make a proposal. The patriarch previously tried to blackmail Kane. However, this has not altered Kane's ultimate goal of acquiring all of Genoa City's major businesses. Victor will have a new concept because that didn't work. The man offers Kane another deal. Victor drops yet another bombshell while the tycoon declares that he will consider it. Before he leaves that door, he needs an answer. Read more, find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Lily Winters' dilemma. Victor is going to try a smarter strategy because all of the other methods have failed. One that will possibly give Kane the only things that money and deceit can't buy. That includes Lily Winters and her children. Kane might hear Victor say that he can promise to see Lily again. The man says that this is his final deal, but he won't say how he will make it happen. He could take him up on it because Kane very much wants Lily and the kids back. However, how is Victor going to explain this to Lily? Jack Abbott's wild twist. Additionally, it has been hinted that Jack's fate will be upended in the episode that airs tomorrow. This could have to do with Jack and Victor possibly joining forces to take down Kane for good. Victor is said to seriously consider the truce offer at the end of the week. But are they really able to put aside their differences and concentrate on defeating Kane? Or will their quarreling make it possible for Kane to wedge in anyway? It could really go either way at this point. So stay tuned. Read this, The Young and the Restless spoilers, Lily's shocking discovery, Kane and Phyllis exposed. The 25th of September 2025, Thursday. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, September 25th reveal that Sally Spectra will face her own impossible situation. Billy Abbott desires reconciliation with Sally and her forgiveness. However, the problem wasn't necessarily Kane, but Billy's endless need to get revenge. Since Kane cut the cord, Billy's fixation could just be another obstacle for making things right with Sally. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Thursday, September 25th, 2025? Write down your thoughts in the box below. If you want to know what happens next, keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount+. Sharon's tricky trip, Kyle's worst nightmare, Victoria's concern. There are a lot of surprises in The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of September 29th. Fans can expect Sharon Newman and Nick Newman's trip to face complications. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott could make things even worse with Claire Grace Newman. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. The irritation of Claire Grace Newman. Let's begin with Claire, who requires separation from Kyle. However, the man will not yield. There is also the fact that Claire keeps seeing or hearing about Kyle and Audra Charles' interactions. Really, Kyle and Audra are acting like toddlers. Claire seems to want to see what else is out there for her. With Holden Novak, the blonde has the chance to explore Los Angeles. Despite Kyle's warnings about the man, Claire just might take Holden up on the offer. Victoria Newman's concern. Victoria Newman may be concerned for Claire's daughter, despite her strong support for her choices. Victoria is absolutely aware that Kyle adores Claire. At the same time, she might worry that Holden is taking advantage of Claire and Kyle's situation. Nate Hastings might have the same worries about Holden as Victoria. Victoria and Claire will be together in Los Angeles at some point in the near future. So, maybe Claire agrees to go on the trip as long as her mother can go too. Or, maybe Victoria goes chasing after Claire after learning some alarming intel about Holden. Week of September 29th, 2025. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of September 29th reveal that Victor Newman and Jack Abbott should agree to an alliance. But can they really put an end to their fighting long enough to stop Kane Ashby? Billy Abbott will likely go on a rampage. After deceiving everyone, now he's all mad that nobody wants to help him target Kane. Why? So, he can deceive and dump them again the next time a better offer comes along. There is also Tessa Porter, who has decided to investigate Mariah Copeland's secret. However, Tessa will not have to investigate on her own. She has acknowledged that she is not doing this alone, and Daniel Romalotti, Jr. There is also Sharon and Nick, who also plan on going to LA. The next month, they will get together with Noah Newman. However, there could be some complications and twists, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of September 29th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Nikki gets surprising news, Dylan McAvoy returning. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Nikki Newman will get some surprising news. Is Dylan McAvoy returning? Dylan was last seen in 2017 when he went into witness protection. It's about time he returned to Genoa City. Dylan Williams is the son of Paul and Nikki Williams. Dylan is the son of Nikki and Paul Williams and once was married to Sharon Newman, and he owned Crimson Lights before Sharon took it over when he left town. He had affairs with Jessica Collins's sister Avery Clark and Phyllis Summers' sister Chelsea Lawson prior to his marriage to Sharon. Due to his service in Afghanistan, Dylan also suffered from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Dylan had gone undercover as a member of the Genoa City Police Department and fought some dangerous men, one of which he killed in self-defense. But the criminals' network of thugs were still a danger to not only Dylan, but his family, and he left town in witness protection. A rescue is coming up involving Noah Newman, who will need rescuing somewhere on the West Coast. Nick Newman and Sharon will go there. There will be a Detective Burrows who will be involved, as well as a woman named Sienna Bacall who may have kidnapped Noah. It's possible that Dylan may be involved in this as well, considering he was once married to Sharon when her children were a bit younger. But before embarking on the rescue mission for Noah, he may reconnect with his mother Nikki, possibly having reconnected with Paul as well. It's possible that when Sharon and Nick find out Noah's in trouble on the West Coast, Dylan may go with them on the rescue mission if he's come to town. Who might be playing Dylan? Steve Burton is busy on General Hospital, so if Dylan does return, he'll have to be a recast, but who might be playing him? Another former GH star, Roger Howarth, has joined the CBS soap in a mystery role. Might it be Dylan? Even though age doesn't usually matter in soaps, the fact that Steve and Roger are roughly the same age makes sense. Roger has already started filming, as have Lucas Adams, the new Noah, and Tamara Braun, who also was on GH as one of 4 versions of Carly Spencer, now played by Laura Wright. Fans should see Roger, Lucas, Matt and Tamara on their TV screens probably sometime in October. Catch up on everything that is going on right now with Y&R. Come back here often for the young and the restless spoilers, news, and updates. Lily's shocking discovery, Kane and Phyllis exposed. The streets of Genoa City have never been short of scandal, betrayal, and shocking twists, but nothing could prepare Lily Winters for the earth-shattering revelation that would soon unravel before her eyes. For years, Lily's relationship with Kane Ashby had been defined by cycles of love, heartbreak, and reconciliation. Despite their turbulent past, Lily always believed that somewhere beneath the shadows of Kane's past mistakes, the man she fell in love with still remained. She clung to the hope that redemption and family would always outweigh temptation and betrayal. Yet, as whispers began to circulate about Kane's renewed connection with Phyllis Summers, Lily's faith would soon be tested like never before. Phyllis Summers was a woman with a reputation, fierce, seductive, manipulative, and unapologetically bold in every sense of the word. She had spent years ascending the power ladder in Genoa City, frequently blurring the line between desire and ambition. It wasn't unusual for Phyllis to entangle herself with men who were already committed, if only to prove that she could lure them away with her intoxicating charm. Her latest fascination, however, was unlike any other. What drew her to Kane wasn't just his striking good looks or his undeniable charisma, but the mysterious allure of his hidden persona, Aristotle Dumas. The Dumas identity was more than just a name, it was the side of Kane that reveled in power, risk, and dangerous ambition. While Kane had worked tirelessly to bury that part of himself after the chaos it caused in the past, Phyllis seemed determined to resurrect it. She was drawn to the version of Kane who wasn't bound by morality, who wasn't tethered to the expectations of family, and who wasn't afraid to play dirty to get what he wanted. For Phyllis, Aristotle Dumas was intoxicating, a flame she couldn't resist fanning, even if it meant blowing Kane's life to pieces. From subtle compliments to lingering glances, Phyllis began her pursuit carefully, weaving herself into Kane's world under the guise of friendship and business partnership. Their playful banter, often laced with innuendo, was impossible to ignore. To outsiders, it seemed harmless, but those who knew Phyllis understood that she rarely engaged in casual flirtation without an endgame in mind. For Kane, the attention was flattering, addictive, even. After years of struggling to win back Lily's trust, he found himself dangerously tempted by the validation and admiration Phyllis offered so freely. The breaking point came one evening at Society, where Kane had invited Phyllis to dinner. What was meant to be a friendly meeting soon turned into something far more dangerous. Kane was drawn deeper into Phyllis's seductive web as the two shared stories over wine and laughed. Others in the restaurant stared in awe at their undeniable chemistry. Among those witnesses was Tracy Abbott, whose history with Kane made the sight particularly bittersweet. Kane had once fantasized about falling in love with Tracy and cherished her warmth and wisdom, but seeing him now with Phyllis brought up mixed feelings. Phyllis noticed Tracy's presence immediately and bristled at the connection between her and Kane. When she realized that she wasn't the only woman vying for Kane's attention, she felt a twinge of resentment in her eyes. Phyllis's ambition became clear at that point. She wanted Kane solely for herself. Not just as a lover, but as a partner in power. She imagined a future where she and Kane ruled Genoa City as a force no one could underestimate. She had to get rid of all traces of Lily, Tracy, or anyone else from Kane's heart in order to accomplish that. For Kane, the pull of Phyllis's world grew stronger each day. Her constant encouragement of his Dumas side awakened something inside him that he had long tried to suppress. She told him he was wasting his time chasing a fairytale with Lily, insisting that his destiny was to dominate, not to beg for forgiveness. The more Phyllis whispered these words, the more Kane began to question whether Lily would ever truly forgive him or if Phyllis was right about embracing a darker, freer version of himself. The inevitable happened on a night when emotions ran high. One drink led to another, and soon, Kane and Phyllis found themselves unable to resist the magnetic pull between them. The kiss they shared was electric, forbidden, and utterly reckless. Kane knew he would never be able to get back what had begun as a fleeting moment turned into something much more intimate. Phyllis, of course, reveled in the victory. Every touch, every kiss, every whispered word was a triumph in her campaign to claim Kane as her own. But soap secrets rarely stay hidden for long. Lily, who had been cautiously optimistic about rekindling her relationship with Kane, began noticing subtle changes in his behavior. He was distracted, distant, and evasive whenever she asked about his evenings. Her instincts, sharpened by years of betrayal and heartbreak, told her something was terribly wrong. Determined to uncover the truth, Lily followed her suspicions straight to society one fateful night. There, in a corner of the restaurant dimly lit by candles, she saw them, Kane and Phyllis, locked in a passionate embrace. For Lily, time seemed to stop. Her breath caught in her throat, her heart pounded violently, and her world shattered in an instant. It wasn't just the kiss, it was the betrayal, the confirmation of her deepest fears, the realization that Kane had once again chosen temptation over loyalty. The altercation was violent. Lily demanded answers, her voice trembling with fury and heartbreak as she accused Kane of betraying her yet again. Kane, caught between guilt and defensiveness, struggled to explain himself. Never one to shy away from drama, Phyllis held her ground and insisted without hesitation that what she shared with Kane was true. To make matters worse, she taunted Lily, suggesting that Kane's passion for her was something Lily could never compete with. The fallout was immediate and devastating. Kane's humiliation was too much for Lily, so she left him and said she would never let him hurt her again. For Kane, the loss was crushing. In his pursuit of validation and power, he had once again destroyed the one thing he claimed to value most, his family with Lily. Phyllis, on the other hand, felt victorious, believing that with Lily out of the picture, she and Kane could finally rise as Genoa City's newest power couple. Yet, Kane's guilt gnawed at him. Even as Phyllis pressed forward with her vision of a future together, Kane couldn't escape the image of Lily's tear-streaked face. He knew in his heart that any connection he had with Phyllis was not based on love but rather on seduction and ambition. Lily was his heart, his anchor, and the mother of his children. Losing her was a price he wasn't sure he was willing to pay, even for the intoxicating thrill Phyllis offered. Meanwhile, the ripple effects spread throughout Genoa City. Tracy, heartbroken by Kane's poor choices, confronted him with disappointment and sadness, reminding him of the man he once aspired to be. Victor Newman, ever the strategist, saw Kane's vulnerability as an opportunity and presented him with a dangerous proposition, one that promised Kane everything he thought he wanted but threatened to entangle him in an even darker web of deceit. Jack Abbott, too, found himself pulled into the chaos, devising his own unpredictable twist that could change the balance of power in the city. As the dust settled, Lily faced her own dilemma. Should she sever ties with Kane for good and protect her heart once and for all? Or should she consider Victor's manipulative promise of a reunion, even if it meant playing into the very games she despised? The choice weighed heavily on her, knowing that every decision carried consequences not just for herself, but for her children and the legacy of her family.